Welcome, survivors, seekers, and thrivers. I'm your host, Shari Leigh Roberts, psychic medium, energy healer, and living proof that you can transform your pain into power. Each episode, we dive into trauma healing, developing your intuitive gifts, and reclaiming your life. Get ready for real stories, deep wisdom, and a little laughter along the way.
Hello, and welcome. Today, I have an amazing man, Gilbert Martina, from the island of Curaçao. Which I didn't know until today is a part of the kingdom of the Netherlands. He is a shamanic healer, spiritual wellness advocate, and meditation teacher who has transformed his own journey from I can relate from corporate burnout, spiritual awakening into a beacon of hope for thousands seeking authentic healing. Gilbert brings a unique blend of executive experience and indigenous wisdom to his transformative work. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Love your energy and goodness.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shari. Thank you so much. Sending you so much light and love and abundance and prosperity. I can see and feel your light. So I'm returning all that back to you with much, much love and intensity. So much and so love to be here with you. Let me start with the news, with the big news about Curacao. Curacao is a
Yes.
tiny island in the Caribbean, a population of only 155,000 people.
Wow.
And up till Tuesday, last Tuesday, November the 18th, the smallest country that did qualify for a World Cup was Iceland. That was for the World Cup of 2018. But last Tuesday, Curaçao had a draw against Jamaica, 0-0, and with that draw, Curaçao did qualify as the smallest nation on this planet for the World Cup 2026, which will be held in Mexico, USA, and Canada. And I'm the president of the Football Federation of Curaçao, and it's a real honor to be representing our country during this beautiful and challenging time. So that was the first news I wanted to share with you, Shari, and with your audience.
Whoa! So, tell us what led up to this.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, it's a huge, 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 huge platform from a marketing and PR perspective for the country, but also for inspiration and development for the youth. Let me share you a small story. Curaçao played 2 years ago a game against Argentina, who is the World Cup. Argentina invited Curaçao to play in Argentina as a celebration because they won the World Cup. That game, Shari, did provide the island an increase of an average of 2,000 tourists from Argentina a month to almost 8,000. That was one game. So
Wow.
imagine what qualifying to this World Cup will do. It will be huge.
Yeah.
It will have economic opportunities. It will have infrastructural opportunities. It will have inspirational quotes because now we have our own heroes. We don't have to look outside for heroes from other teams. Now the youth, they have their own heroes who have qualified for the World Cup. And it's a divine journey. It's a divine journey because this was our moment. The stars have aligned, and
Yes.
I'm getting the goosebumps, Sherry.
Yes.
The stars have aligned, and if you look at the game, there were three shots of Jamaica that hit the pole and came back, and the referee in the last 5 minutes, the referee did decide that there was a penalty which was cancelled by the VAR. So all our guardian angels were there in the stadium, Sherry, to make sure that Curacao will have that draw and qualify for the first time. So we are all over the news. CNN has had an interview. The New York Times has posted an article. BBC News Sport has posted an article. I had last night an interview with BBC News Sport about this journey, this divine journey, how it was developed and what was the key. And the key, I could say, is activating the true power and purpose of the team, which is our heart and our soul and our spirit. And they give everything on the field to qualify Curacao for the first time. So it's a beautiful story. It will continuing because December the 5th will be the draw in Washington, where we will know in which group we will be playing, in which country, and in which cities. So I will be traveling to the draw in Washington with all the other presidents of all federations and looking forward in which group Curaçao will play against which countries.
Wow. That is beyond exciting. Now, did you play football? Yes. That how you became interested in promoting and getting Curaçao onto
Mhm.
the world stage.
Yeah, well, I mentioned a divine journey because it's not a journey that started this year. It started back then in 2004. Um, uh, the first World Cup then was 2006, which we had the ambition. The former president of the federation said Curacao has everything to qualify for a World Cup. We have talented players who play in the Netherlands. We have a lot of youth that is growing up and develop. So we should state that we want to reach the World Cup. And it started back then. Back then, I was working for the insurance company, the executive world where I come from, where I was requested for funding to help with sponsoring to cover the cost of the national team. And I did that
Uh,
almost 10, 14 decades. And last year, the federation was in quite some turbulence, Sherry, and many clubs came to me and they said, Gilbert, we want you to postulate as a candidate to become the president because we want someone who can bring peace, calm, and tranquility into the federation and to the clubs because it's too turbulent. And well, I talked to my queen at home, my lovely wife Chantal,
Yeah.
requested her permission. She said first answer is no because I was very busy as CEO of the hospital. She said,
Yeah.
you're very busy there, so no, no way you say. Then a couple of weeks I let pass and I go back to her and I picture to her what I was visualizing. You know, they say only those who can see the invisible can do the impossible. So I
Yeah.
was visualizing that Curaçao is going to qualify for this World Cup because it's our time. I could sense this in the universe, I could sense this in the stars, I could sense this by our ancestors that this was our time, but we should work hard together. And so I did postulate myself to become the president. The election was last April the 10th, Shari, and I was elected unanimous by all clubs to become the president. And from that moment on, did give everything, 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 everything. And hard work pays off because the result is there.
Yeah. Okay. I see that this situation is a really selection of the rest of your story. I mean,
Yes,
you
yes,
talk
it is.
about heart, soul, and
Yes,
spirit. Let's now go back and talk
yeah,
about all of those intertwining
yes,
things that brought you to today. Now,
yes,
I, as well as my listeners, only
yes,
dream of growing up on a beautiful island. Tell us what your upbringing was like.
yes. Thank you very much. I grew up in a lovely family. My mother, Rubia, she was a doctor assistant for all her life. She was like a Mother Teresa, very caring, very, very caring, and that's what she taught us to have a service mind, to be helpful to every being, every human being that needs help, because that's how she lives her life. My father worked as a psychiatric nurse in a
Wow.
psychiatric clinic and also very service minded. So my father had a huge passion for cooking. I learned cooking from him, for music, and cooking for him was sharing is caring. So in the weekends, all the family will come together and he will cook large meals and everyone will come and eat. And my mother, the service-minded but very high values, norms, and discipline. She's always taught us to be the best version you can be of yourself. So I'm the oldest son. I have a brother and a sister, so we are three. And I saw when I was 13 years, Sherry, I saw my father came home on a Saturday evening and he gave my mother a slap in the face. I saw that happening and my world which up till then, my father was my best friend, just broke into pieces because I cried
Wow.
the whole night. I could not understand why my father behaved like that. My mother went to my grandmother's house and then she came back. She said, Gilbert, I'm divorcing your father because no one hits me.
Yeah.
Um, but that moment, Shari, has defined the relationship with my father for almost 30 years because I could not talk anymore to him. I could not see him anymore. So I was 13 years. At 16 years, I went to study to the Netherlands because most high school finishers from the islands go to the Netherlands to study. My birthdays, my graduation, when I came with vacation, I had no contact with him because there was a huge, huge barrier. So even though his action was not directed to me because it was not a physical attack to me, but it had a huge impact on the way I was seeing him as a father. And I carried that with me, Sherry, for almost 30 years. 30 years because in 2017, due to the challenges that I was having back then at the company I was working as an executive, I could not sleep at night and I started to look for ways to calm the mind. And that's when I learned to meditate, transcendental
Mm-hmm.
meditation, and it brought immediate relief. But by starting to meditate, I tapped into a sanctuary that I wanted to learn so much more about that calmness and that peace. And then I started reading and I came into Alberto Villoldo, which is a medical anthropologist who lived with the shamans of Peru and Amazonas for many, many
Oh.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Alberto in February 2017 and I didn't know him. He said to me, Gilbert, tell me about your father. After he read my luminous energy field, tell me about your father. I'm getting goosebumps again.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
explained to him what happened that Saturday night. He said, Gilbert, yes, I can see it because you have an imprint, you have a dense energy on your foot chakra, on your heart chakra, and you have to release that because otherwise you will be getting a cardiovascular disease in the future. So the shamans that were present, they released that energy, Sherry, and from that moment, I could start building up the relationship with my father again. And that first retreat I did in Chile at Los Lobos Sanctuary, that opened for me a world into the shamanism that I said I want to delve into it. I want to learn so much more because this is me. This is love. This is light. This is, no separation because we all are. We are not human beings in search for a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings immersed in a human body. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. And I did a couple of ayahuasca ceremonies with the shamans, Sherry. And in one of those ceremonies, after like 30 minutes, I saw my body, my physical body was dissolving, like you pouring, sugar in a glass of water. My physical body was gone. And what I have experienced then, Sherry, is an out of body experience. I experienced pure, pure love, unconditional love, the universe, God, however we want to name it. And when I came back, I said, it was poured into me, Gilbert, you have to do something with this unconditional love because we are living in a world that is based on power, on money, on
Mm.
ego, and we have
Yeah.
got totally lost about the things that really matter in life, which is sharing and caring for each other. That's it. It's not accumulated wealth the way we define wealth in the West, because wealth is defined like how much money you have on your bank account, how big is your car, how big is your house, how many clothes you
Mm-hmm.
have. But wealth, universal wealth is something totally else than that. And I have been exposed to that unconditional love. I have been exposed to God, the universe, and I feel that's my mission to bring this message in my book, which is called Healthy Minds, Healthy Nation, how meditation and shamanism can tap into your light within and change the world. Because one light within can light up many other lights within, and lighting up many lights within, you can change your family, you can change your community, you can change your country, you can change the world. So that's what's my book all about. And I tell them the story, Sherry, of my executive period, almost 25 years, where I was exposed to greed, to money, to power, to ego. And I've just finished my last executive position as CEO of the largest hospital of Curaçao, brand new hospital. And then I said, this is enough. I'm not going back to any executive positions. I'm going to dedicate my life to bring out this message that I'm bringing in my book. My lovely Queen Chantal, she is a yoga teacher. So we're going to open a sanctuary in the west part of the island, which is called the Blinchi Sanctuary. The Blinchi is the local name of the hummingbird. And a hummingbird, Sherry, is a very powerful spiritual bird, because hummingbirds, they always respond to the call of spirit. When spirit calls, we have to respond. They don't think, I don't have enough money on my bank account, I'm not able to get there. They always goes for the flower with the best nectar. And that's the message we want to bring out to everyone who will come to our sanctuary, which will be open in 2 years. Go for the best nectar, go for the best flower. Don't go for trash. Don't go for McDonald's, for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Go for the best nectar to fuel your body and your soul, because then you can really tap into your light within and change the world.
That is beautifully said. Let's go back to your shamanic teachings. Tell us a little more detail about what you learned and how you help others, and
Yes,
perhaps give some concrete
yes.
examples of how people can implement those teachings.
Yes. Excellent question, Sherry. Thank you very much for that. That's why the title of my book, Healthy Minds, Healthy Nations, because our mind has the power to create psychosomatic disease. I mean, there is so much science about the body and mind connection. We have from the first human walking on this earth, we have a mechanism which is called fight or flight modus or freeze, which is help us to survive.
Yep.
But most of us are living in a fight or freeze modus. So our mind literally can cure us, our mind can kill us. And the shamanism teachings that I follow from the Queros from Peru. The Queros are the village that flew high in the mountains when the conquistadores of Spain came, and they were killing everyone because they didn't understand what they were doing. So they flew high in the mountains until 1940, 1950. So let's say 60, 70 years ago. and they came back, and the teachings are very profound and very ancient. And the way they teach is that basically there is no separation between the physical world and the non-physical world. We have been disconnected, but if you look at the physical world and the non-physical world, it's all blended. And they use four directions to illustrate that. The first direction is the the south direction, and they use the archetype of the snake because the snake basically eats, sleeps, and at a certain point, the snake shed the skin, which means that that the snake is growing into a new body. And that's a symbolism that we have to shed our traumas, shed our pains, shed everything, leave everything behind, Sherry, in order to keep growing to our true purpose. Because pain, we cannot avoid pain. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Every time we stuck into that pain and we hold into that pain, it becomes a suffering, and then we get into the trauma cycle. So that's the first direction, archetype snake. The second one is the jaguar, and that's the west direction. Why the jaguar? Because the jaguar lives on top of every chain in the Amazon. The jaguar has no fear. And fear nowadays is the biggest enemy for humankind because fear actually triggers the flight or flight mechanism, activates your body with high levels of cortisol or adrenaline, which really kills everything. Our immune system,
Yeah.
heart diseases, you name it. So much science about that.
Yeah.
It's not necessary to get into that right now. That's the second. And the fourth direction, the third direction, sorry, there's a hummingbird. Because the hummingbird always, that's the north direction, respond to the calls of spirit. And spirit has been calling me for many years, Sherry. I was good thing was I was doing as an executive, but I could feel internally in my gut, and we have to listen to our gut because our gut is the closest we get to nature because we have like 30 to 100 trillions microorganisms living in our gut. And if something is not good, they will tell you. And why is our gut so important? Because in our gut, we produce serotonin. Serotonin is transmitted to our brains and is converted into melatonin, and melatonin, by a neurotransmitter, is converted if we have enough serotonin in DMT, and DMT is dimethyltryptamine, which is what the shamans call ayahuasca, which gives us the feeling of oneness. It expands our consciousness. So we don't see each other as enemy, Sherry. We don't see each other as conqueror, but we
No.
see each other as lovely light beings.
Yeah.
That's the third. And the fourth direction is the eagle, because eagle is pure energy. Eagle oversees everything. So those are the four archetypes: the snake, the jaguar, the hummingbird, and the eagle. And it's the same in metaphysics and the same in the universe. It's energy forms matter. So every time we want to heal, we need to do intervention on the energetic level, because
Yeah.
once you have a dense matter in the human body, it's so much difficult to heal.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
healing, actually, we treating the symptoms,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that doesn't improve. So
No.
that's the philosophy of the shamans. They intervene in the energetic level, on the ego level, and that automatically translates to the physical body. So you ask about practical tips. Very important, Sherry. That's how me and my lovely queen start our day. Gratitude. we start our day kneeling and say thank to God, the universe, whatever name you want to give it to the higher force. Thank you for another day. Thank you for being alive. Thank you that we can breathe. Thank you for a loving family. Being gratitude is and showing gratitude is so important because you will be living in the now and will be having peace with the now. Otherwise, most of us, they live in the past or in the future. And if what you have today does not make you happy, guess what? What you will be having tomorrow won't make you happy neither.
Yeah.
So, gratitude is very important, and forgiveness. I had to learn to forgive my father, Shari. I carried that weight for almost 30 years, and what a relief it was when I could start building up relationship again with him. And what a relief it was when 2 years ago, when he took his last breath and passed away, I was standing next to him, Sherry, singing to him the songs he loves and help him make the transition from this physical world to the spiritual world. And
Mhm.
I see him now. I can feel his presence. I mean, he was in the stadium last Tuesday as butterflies because there were so many butterflies flying around. So
Ah,
I knew he was present there. So gratitude, forgiveness, and quiet the mind on a daily basis because we are living in a world of so much turbulence, so much activity, and that takes us away from our true power. Marcus Aurelius said, the closest a man gets to a calm mind, the closest he will get to his true power. That's why it's so important to calm the mind, because by calming
yeah.
the mind, we will tap into our light within. Because the busy mind gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta, whole day is not getting us anywhere. Is making us sick.
Yeah.
And connecting to nature. If it's the hills, it's the mountains, sea, very important to connect to nature because Mother Earth, Pachamama, speaks to us every moment of the day, every moment. And as long as we stay connected to that, we will start receiving and understanding the cause of spirit, which is actually what our true purpose is in this life. Not our ego, but our true purpose. So, gratitude, forgiveness, calming the mind, mindfulness or meditation, and connect to nature. Hug a tree, walk to a hill, go on a trail, whatever it is that you have in your environment, but go to nature, talk to nature, and listen to nature. And if we do incorporate those four things in our life, Sherry, being gratitude on a daily basis, forgive everything, everyone that you have to forgive. 5 minutes a day, calm the mind. If you can meditate on mindfulness, if you can't, just 5 minutes a day, calm the mind. And if you can meditate, of course, you can do much longer. And at least 1 or 2 times a week, connecting to nature, we will start seeing big changes in our life.
I agree 100%. And that is how all of us go from life leading us to us leading our lives in a
Yes, yes.
purpose driven, heart-centered place. You said that beautifully. Thank
Thank you.
you Gilbert, tell us again your book and where people can buy it and how
Yes.
they can contact you.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Shari. Well, my book is not published yet. It will be published in February 2026, the
Okay.
last week. As soon as I have the exact publication date, I will announce that. My
Okay.
website will be launched next week, www.gilbertmartina.com. And there I will be presenting practical tips like I just explained how to incorporate those in your daily life so we can
Yeah.
start seeing changes in our daily life. I'm also on Instagram, on Facebook, and I will be also activating a YouTube channel with messages and videos from the west part of the island where the sanctuary is going to be built in order to bring that peace, in order to bring that tranquility, in order to bring unconditional love to as many life as possible, Sherry, so they can share that wherever they come from, so we can start lighting up this world,
Yeah.
changing it from a masculine perspective to a more feminine perspective.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, thank you, Gilbert, and to everyone who listens to this. Know that the important things are what Gilbert pointed out. And at the base of it all is our ego. We must conquer and release our ego in order to fully embody the divine and step into our purpose. So, if you want help in doing that, please reach out to Gilbert, me, or anyone else who speaks to you, who feels in alignment with you. Just don't try to navigate the journey to wholeness and
Mhm.
healness alone. You
No.
can't do it. It
No.
is comparable to scaling Mount Everest.
Yes.
And laps. I mean,
It's
you
crazy.
can't do it. And Gilbert and I hope to hear from you.
Thank you for listening. If today's conversation resonated with you and you're ready to explore your own healing journey or intuitive gifts, I'd love to work with you. I offer psychic medium readings, energy healing sessions, and intuitive development guidance at shariroberts.org. And if you're not quite ready for a session, but want to be a part of the conversation in a supportive community, join my private Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Shari Leigh Roberts. Until next time, remember, you're never alone.